Milwaukee came back to beat Tulsa here at the Bradley Center 13-10 on December 13th. We are underway from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. Glad you could join us for another edition of NPSL Soccer featuring the Milwaukee Wave, America's professional soccer team. Tom Wynn with you here on Hagen Sportsnet and the Channel America Network. The Wave going to be very short-handed today, missing 3 players from their lineup due to injury, 1 because of suspension. Jim St. Andre in the nets to open it up for Milwaukee, and as Tulsa unloads a couple of shots, foul eventually called, so the Wave will come back with it. Wave for today's game suiting up a total of 10 field players and 2 goalkeepers, so it is not inconceivable that we might see today's backup keeper, Felipe Hernandez, possibly see some field time if somebody goes down with an injury, but hopefully that is a worst-case scenario we will not have to realize. Restart coming at the top of the arc as Fox comes in for Bartro, but Timmy was going the other way. A little miscommunication there. Here's Amaya for Kramer on the near side. Kramer coming around, he gets cut off that time. Ball centered across Fox, headed up. Now as they scramble in the middle, Kramer just missing as the ball landed on his foot about 10 feet out. He tried to do it on the volley and just missed. Elardi has made a living out of capitalizing on errant balls that float through the box, but fortunately that time for the Wave he couldn't capitalize. Fairly nice crowd gathered here on a Sunday afternoon. Again, we are still in the middle of NFL playoff season, so when you consider that, a fairly decent crowd here at the Bradley Center, where the Wave has averaged over 7,000 so far this year. 1:21 left with no score between Milwaukee and Tulsa as Victor Moreland, the ambush player coach, will prepare to put in. Now having some words with Barry Wallace as he walks by. And with a record of 2-16, I think it's safe to say it's been a long first half of the season for Victor Moreland. McIntosh will play it back for Wallace as Ortiz chases. Kramer and Cacho. Kramer able to touch it back for Moreland. Now up for Schwab. St. Andre to knock it away. Diego battling, but they call for the handball. Vince Beck. Joey trying to wheel into the baseline. Cut off by DeBrito. Salgado will tap it back for Tom Brown. And that'll do it as the buzzer sounds. That's the end of the first period with the score. Milwaukee nothing, Tulsa nothing. Back with the second period right after. Fox battling with Salgado. Eloy's going to get called for the foul. Now Eloy Salgado certainly has been one of the bright spots for the ambush this year. The 21-year-old native of Dallas having a sensational season as he leads the league in scoring with 72 points coming into this one. Sadri Jambalai may have twisted his knee right there as he mishit the ball. Well, Sadri hurting that knee the other night in Chicago. Boy, I'll tell you what, he would be another tough guy to lose, especially considering the lack of numbers right now for the Wave. Kirk up against Wallace as he works the near side. Now Shapansky going across for Tim Bartro. Bartro trying to move against DeBrito. Pedro slides out to knock it away. Kirk with good hustle to go over, try to get it back. They play on as Amaya tried to clear. Now Banks for Henderson. Coming in, Eddie tried to roll one off the end board for Kirk, but Brown read the play and came out and scooped it up. The Wave almost able to manufacture the opportunity there. Here's Banks for Shapansky going across Henderson. Fast Eddie to the corner, trying to get around back. Got put down as Banks tries to keep the zone for Henderson. Eddie stayed with it, drew the foul. Very entertaining player to watch. Ortiz up for Cacho as they come back 3-on-3. Cacho holding out the line. Fakes the lead for Fox. Try to come in for Joey Kirk. Had it knocked down, and we are going to have a penalty right here as Ortiz is going to go for hammering Mark Christensen. Well, those two have had a little bit of scuffling in the past. You might recall the last time they played Milwaukee. If you saw our game, Christensen and Ortiz got into it toward the end of the game. Christensen, a very hard-nosed defender. Make no mistake about it. He really is one of the hard-nosed defenders in all of pro soccer. Ortiz will go 2 minutes for kicking at 5:59. Second penalty of the contest against the Wave, third overall. Here's our first shootout and power play coming up with Jason Maracle to take the shootout. Maracle coming straight in, steps over. St. Andre forces him far, but they're going to pull out the card, and now it'll be a 2-point penalty kick. Well, you see Jimmy not really believing the call, but nothing he can do about it now. Let's take a look one more time. Well, he was diving out for the ball. Caught Maracle on the follow-through. Close call. Obviously, St. Andre doesn't like it, but it is going to be a 2-point penalty kick effort now for the Tulsa Ambush. So that really a huge penalty against the Wave. The initial penalty called against Ortiz for kicking. So technically, the shootout is no good on Maracle's part, but it will result in a penalty kick. And let's see who's going to serve the penalty now for St. Andre. Well, Felipe, who had gone back into the locker room to put on a uniform, now going to have to put on his goalkeeper's jersey for now with St. Andre in the box. He'll have to come in and tend the nets for a while. So Felipe will have a chance to loosen up as a goalkeeper for a couple minutes. And again, we'll probably see him on the field if Jambalaya cannot come back into this contest. Felipe, by the way, a very skilled player. He's not going to embarrass himself out there, that's for sure. Was primarily a field player up until the middle of his high school career, and then from that point on, primarily a goalkeeper. But in practice and other types of outdoor games, he will spend a lot of time on the field. So Felipe certainly not going to be any stranger to running up and down the field, but right now he is going to have to tend the nets. Eloy Salgado will take the penalty kick. I believe Salgado is. That might be Pedro de Brito. Let's see how they align. If Hernandez makes the save, the ball would stay in play. Felipe's faced 3 kicks this year, has yet to stop one, and can't stop that one either as Salgado drives it past him. So a penalty kick by Eloy Salgado at 5:59, the first score of this afternoon's contest. One more time as you see him pick the near post and stick it in there. The first 2 of the game, and it comes at 5:59 of the second. And for Eloy Salgado, now a total of 74 points, including 23 2-pointers. Salgado on the far side for Christensen. I should say Schwab Bartro able to cut him off. Feed up ahead for Shapansky. And they say the ball went out of bounds. Wade Mensch claiming that it bounced on top. But it will go back to the Ambush. I guess interesting to note, if they were going to put it down right there, then you'd have to say somebody touched it there. Nobody touched it after the ball apparently bounced out of bounds, so they will move it back into the Tulsa attacking zone with 41 seconds left to go in the half. McIntosh, turning left foot effort, is up in the stands. 38 seconds to go. You know, talking about Lee Rogers and that streak, Lee had not missed a regular season game since the 87-88 season. The only game he had missed in the last 148 was the first game of a playoff match with Chicago. First game of a playoff series with Chicago right after the 88-89 season. Ortiz trying to maneuver as Henderson keeps it alive. Now Joey Kirk. Joey trying to center off the inboard. Couldn't get a good piece of it. 10 seconds left as Brown looks downfield. Now Brown trying to go downfield for McIntosh. Shapansky cut him off. 3 seconds left as Shapansky tries to move it up. That's going to do it for the first half. So the first 30 minutes comes to a conclusion. Tulsa with the only score and a penalty kick by Alois Salgado midway through the second period. And there's our halftime score. Tulsa 2, Milwaukee nothing. We'll be back with the second. Here's Jimmy moving around. Here's the shot and he scores! Banks making the move as he got around Barry Wallace and unloading the shot that beat Brown and just stuck inside the near post. Ortiz was right there. I don't think Rene touched it, but we will have to see how they score it. Time of the goal is at 8:19. Well, they did give Ortiz credit, so Rene must have just tipped it at the last moment to put it past Brown. Banks will get the assist. It's Rene's 8th goal of the season, and Banks picks up his 2nd assist. Tough to tell in the replay there, but Ortiz just getting a piece of it to stick it inside the near post. So Ortiz now, with his 3rd goal in 2 games, Rene, 8 goals on the season, 18 points, and Banks picks up his 2nd assist. Jimmy now with 16 points on the year. He's also had 2 goals in the last 2 games coming into this one. We are tied at 2. Took an elbow in the mouth that time, and he's really letting Freddie Nucha know what he thinks of the lack of call. Bartro for Jambalai. Double in the corners. DeBrito comes over, and Sadri draws the foul on DeBrito. On the restart, in for Banks. Jimmy's got some room. He will hold up now and try to look for something inside, and not sure what happened. Bartro standing out near midfield. A legal substitution perhaps against the Tulsa ambush. Well, at least you're getting a good profile of Timmy Bartro here on the play. Timmy having a good season for the Wave. And if you notice, he still has that heavily wrapped right thigh, that actually a groin injury that's been bothering him. More recently, a quadricep. So the ambush with too many men on the field, and that is the call. No shootout, but it will be a power play for the Wave. First penalty of the second half, and it comes at 12:37. Second penalty against the ambush. There have been 3 called against the Wave so far today, and in fact, a penalty against the goalkeeper, Jim St. Andre, on a shootout resulted in a penalty kick, which resulted in Tulsa's only score. Here's Bartro as he shoots one in and fouls and scores! What an effort there by Tim Bartro to stay with it and put it away on the volley after the shot was initially blocked. Here you see Vince Beck getting a piece of it, but Bartro never gave up on the play, and he does it one time on the volley. Nicely placed to the far post. No chance for Brown to stop that one. 12:42. The time of the power play goal by Bartro. So just 5 seconds out of the power play, the Waves' league-leading power play connects. Milwaukee now 15-31 on the year. Tulsa has not done a good job at killing off penalties. They're 8th in the league coming in. They had only killed off 61%. They've now allowed 20 goals in 32 times shorthanded. So Bartro with his 5th one-pointer of the season scores on the power play, and Milwaukee takes its first lead of the game at 3-2. Christensen now will come to Amaya on the near side. His shot in off the mark. Ball squirts past St. Andre, but Fox gets it for the Wave. Up for Joey Kirk. He and Christensen collide. Ball will roll through to Brown with 10 seconds. Tom Brown waits for Wallace to come to him. Wallace making the maneuver away from Kirk. Wallace to midfield is going to launch it down, and as Schwab tries to redirect it, the buzzer sounds. That will do it for the third. Fox as he plays it back at midfield for Victor Moreland. Wave has done a good job today shutting down both Salgado and Art Kramer. Here's Wallace to Kramer in the corner. Centering in front, Wallace shot and a goal. And just as I said, the Wave had done a good job to shut down Kramer. He sets up Wallace. Coming right down the lane, and Barry Wallace puts it away. Tulsa regains the lead at 4-3. Kramer centered off the inboard. St. Andre got a piece of it, but all that did was direct it out toward Wallace, and he put it away. 1:30 the time of the goal here in the fourth period. Barry Wallace playing in just his sixth game for the Ambush. Gets his second goal, and Art Kramer, the second all-time leading scorer in the NPSL, picks up the assist. Artie now with 5 assists this year, 32 points overall, so even though Kramer has only played in 13 games, he is fourth on the team in scoring. And as you might imagine, Artie has always had a knack for scoring. Cacho trying to keep it alive for Eddie Henderson. Now back over for Amaya. Miracle and Cacho go up for the header. Henderson trying to turn it around. Amaya stepped up to play it. Wallace, or I should say Miracle, back for Amaya. Amaya going to launch the three, and he drilled it in the stands. Well, Raphael circled around and figured what the heck, he'd give it a boot, and he put it up into the stands. Jim St. Andre right now looking at a 4-3 deficit, and Jim has got to be pretty disappointed about the last goal scored by the Ambush. He had read the play as Kramer tried to center off the inboard. Jim got there to get a piece of it, but Wall scored it right out in front for Wallace to come down and knock. Job of controlling possession, really has not been able to create many opportunities here in the last couple of minutes. But at Tulsa with some good defense. Diego's passed up, knocked down. Here's Bartro with it back. Bartro for Henderson into the near side for Joey Kirk. Joey trying to get around Moreland, can't do it, is knocked away by Salgado. Now far side, the ball cleared downfield. They're going to say last touched, I believe, by the Wave, so it will stay with the Ambush. As you see Jason Miracle coming back onto the field, and there's today's attendance. And not a bad turnout, considering it's a Sunday afternoon during NFL playoff season. Still could be pressed into duty if anybody else goes down for the Wave. Here's DeBrito getting stopped by Henderson. He will back it out for Moreland. Shoots one down. Diego tried to clear. Kramer gets it. Kramer shoots and he scores! Oh, what a shot right there by Artie Kramer. On the half volley. A bomb just inside the line, and that is a huge goal right there for the Ambush. Take a look at it one more time. Kramer knocks it down with his chest. And then the driving shot, which went right over St. Andre. 8:31 the time of the score for Kramer. So Kramer with a goal and an assist here in the fourth period. It's Art's 12th goal of the campaign. Six to 3 in the Wave. Now going to have to score at least twice if they don't get a three-pointer to tie this thing. Artro shoots one off the mark. Rebound comes to Cacho. Well, you know, looking out in the field, they only count 5 players. I don't know why Milwaukee doesn't have another attacker on the field. Fox, Cacho, Bartro, Ortiz, and Kirk. There's nobody in the penalty box. Not quite sure why the Wave does not have an additional attacker on the field. Finally, Henderson is going to come off. They've had 30 seconds with 5 attackers in a situation where they should have had 6. Well, anyway, the shot missed the mark. Here we come down now to the 3-minute mark. Bartro for Henderson. Henderson trying to push it up back, knocks it down. Wallace clears his zone, but it comes back up to Fox. So Milwaukee really hurting itself right there. Wallace takes away, launches downfield. It's going to go. A 2-pointer for the Ambush. They lead it 8-3. minutes and 50 seconds left to go. Barry Wallace getting his second goal of the contest as they finally connected on the empty net. Wallace stepped up to make the play defensively and took his time and just launched it right over Mike Fox, the sixth attacker, for the goal. Unassisted goal for Wallace. So the last two Tulsa goals have been unassisted, but they've been huge ones. 8-3 on this three-game, three-day weekend. And Tulsa, meanwhile, is going to salvage the third of three. And in the process, break a 9-game losing streak, and also in the process, win for the first time in 12 road games. Wave trying to avoid its third loss in 9 tries at the Bradley Center. Ortiz out for Bartro, knocked down. Now Amaya with Fox retreating, but he boots it way up in the stands. It'll be a goal kick coming for the Wave.
On the Wave goal at 8:19, the third quarter, give the goal to number 13, Jimmy Banks, the assist to number 12, John Shatansky.
Well, they've changed the scoring on the Wave's 2-point goal today in the third. Jimmy Banks will get credit for the goal. Ortiz never did touch it. That's Jimmy's 8th of the year, his third in 3 games, and John Shapansky will get credit for the assist. And that's Johnny's 4th assist this year. He now has 8 points. Shot in's deflected. Here's Cacho. Centering for Kirk. Headed out. Jambalaya gets it at the 1-minute mark. And Fox will have to chase this one down. So the Wave is going to drop 3 games off the pace behind the Chicago Power. Illinois, hosting Dayton today, has a chance to move within a game of the Wave if they can win their game. And there is a goal by Rafael Amaya to put a little icing on the cake for the ambush. 14:29, the time of the score. Bartro trying to chase him down, but you can see the 6th attacker Fox was also way out near the line. 14:29 as Amaya registered his first 1-pointer of the year. He did have a 3-pointer for the ambush in last night's loss at Tulsa. And that should just about do it for today's game. Tough loss for the Wave, but hopefully they'll get some healthy bodies in the near future and get this thing turned around. Still a long way to go in the season. Moreland trying to come across as Diego taps back for St. Andre, who was put back in the game. Long field for Shapansky. Now Jambalaya coming in. Sadri shoots one just off the post, and I guess that sums it up this afternoon for the Wave as the clock ticks down, and that'll do it from the Bradley Center. Hope you enjoyed the game here on Hagen Sportsnet and the Channel America Network. And until next time, this is Tom Wynn telling you once again that's the final score of today's game. Tulsa 10, Milwaukee 3.